In today's video, we're installing an MST intake and an MST turbo inlet pipe on my M235i. What's up, you guys? Welcome to the video. If you're new here, my name's Josh. Thank you for tuning in. Today I'm very excited. We got some performance mods for the 2 series. Let's get started. Alright, so here we got the new MST inlet and air intake matched up with the OEM super brittle plastic, as well as here's the old BMW Motorsports intake I was running beforehand. You're going to need a switch over sensor plug to the new intake. Man, I'm very excited to get rid of this just crusty plastic. I went ahead and removed the inlet and intake already. Here's the map sensor you'll need to remove right here. We already got the MST housing lined up in here. There's one screw there, right here. Second screw down in here. The intake should be no issue. It's more the inlet is going to be a very, very tight fit. It's going to have to go in here. Not much room, not going to be able to see much, but I'll do my best to walk you guys through it. And then here's this hose as well. We'll need to unplug, as there's a sensor right there that I'm being too lazy to unplug. But this will go into the inlet pipe. In regards to removal, the intakes will be relatively straightforward. Just undoing this clamp, loosening it up. My burger intake had this little screw right here which just popped right on out, and it was literally just as simple as sliding out. Make sure to remember to switch over this plug. And intakes are very straightforward. Just good luck with the inlet pipes, as these are just such a tight fit. It's definitely going to take a little bit of finesse, a little bit of maneuvering, a little bit of strength just to finesse this on out. So with getting started with installation, all the hardware, everything you need will be supplied. We're going to go ahead and line this up on the turbo. There's going to be a screw this goes into, so this will be easier to line up from the top. And then I have the car jacked up on jack stands already. I'm going to go underneath and fit this in correctly. I'll do my best to take you guys along, but like I said, it's going to be a real tight fit. There's not much room down there, so a lot of this you're going to be doing by just strictly feel. So I would suggest just getting this top pipe in just from the top, but you're gonna have to be doing it blind essentially. So like I said, pretty much going at this blind, you're gonna have to do this. Pretty much go by feel. Do your best to just line up the screw with this piece right here. Just have a little patience and you'll get there. And look at that. First time's a charm. Sometimes. So make sure that's snug up in there, and then I'm going to head underneath, and from the bottom make sure we're aligned and everything looks nice and sealed. Alright, and then from underneath the car I found it's a little bit easier I just unplug the 3 screws to the water pumps. That way I can go up and over the water pump. You're going to need a 10mm and just to screw in this little nut. Alright, so doing my best to get my camera underneath the car. Right in the very center of the frame, we got the 10mm lined up on the nut. So I found that it's definitely easier. I mean, I know it's a bit extra. Let me try to show you guys as well. So there's 2 screws, there's the water pump right above the water pump. Up here is the 3rd screw. This is going to allow you to get from behind the fan, like up, and As you can see, my hand going through up and over. It's 100% easier to do without the camera in my face. But as you can see, we have the 10mm lined up, and it should be smooth sailing from there. So then, and speaking of the water pump, it's definitely not 100%. I know most people probably won't want to do that extra step. Definitely found it makes it a lot easier. But if you want to do that, it's just 3 10mm screws. And then with getting ready to install this inlet, I'm going to go ahead and loosen up these 3 clamps. Definitely this one right here, you're going to need to have some adjustability with this one, so you need to go back and plug in that hose. But once it's installed, it's such a tight fit, you're not going to have much room, so go ahead and loosen this up so that way once it's a super tight fit and it's already in there, it's at least somewhat adjustable, so that way you can line this up. As you can see, it is adjustable as well, and that way it'll be way easier to adjust it and line it up with the hose and screw it in correctly. So the reason I recommend unscrewing the 3 screws for the water pump is the 2 hoses going to the water pump allow for just a little bit of play, which will give you access to move the water pump around. And that way I moved the water pump back a little bit and was able to get my hand up and over it, which was giving me access to that 10mm back there. But as you guys can see, there's just really not much room back there at all. We recently installed the Turbosmart diverter valve back there, and it is just not a very fun install at all. There's just no room. But taking out that water pump and giving yourself a little wiggle room does make a whole world of difference. There's just literally 0 room. You guys can't even see where we're going to put in the turbo inlet pipe, which sits right above the diverter valve, which you can't even see at all, which is kind of crazy. That if we look back here at the F30, and it is right there, you can literally look in the engine bay and see it. And then looking at the N55, there's just literally no room to even look down there, let alone get your hands down there and feel blindly. So with the orientation of the inlet pipe, it's going to sit somewhat like this. So you're going to go ahead and want to have this clamp looking down. Loosen it up a little bit so that way you can tighten and have access to it while it's facing down, so that you'll have access from the bottom. Loosen up this so that way you can have the flexibility to move this around, and then this top piece is adjustable, so that way when it plugs into this hose that I got sticking out right here, you can finesse it in there so it actually sits nice and snug. So yeah, let's get started, fit it in. Yeah, there. It'll be a tight fit, but we're gonna make it happen. So we're gonna make our way in there, do a little bit of finesse and rotating this around, and then make this fit. After about a solid 5-10 minutes, it's a wiggling, pushing, twisting, a little bit of finesse, a little bit of strength. The inlet is in. We're going to go ahead from the bottom and line it up. And just like that, install is complete. Make sure to tighten this clamp right here. Make sure to tighten the clamp to the filter underneath this heat shield. You got a 13mm right here, 10mm up here, a couple T20s. Make sure to replug the mass airflow sensor. And yeah, besides this inlet pipe that was a massive headache being so tight in there, MST intake, the MST inlet pipe are looking fantastic. So all in all, smooth sailing. Took a little while to get that inlet pipe in, that there's just no room. It's such a tight fit, but I'll have some more comprehensive DIYs listed down below. As per usual, parts always listed down below if you're interested in an MST intake or an inlet pipe. Don't be afraid to get yourself some jack and jack stands and just do this in your driveway. It's definitely very doable. And make sure to subscribe to your boy. Appreciate you guys for watching. I'm gonna get this car put back together, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.